and eat a big old heaping helping of chicken fried steak, some jalapeno gravy, some of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a bunch of jalapeno gravy that old Hop Sing makes fresh 2 to 3 times a day because I eat so much of it. It's the 1235 edition of our program. Of course, I call it Down on the Farm, and I call you my neighbor. And neighbor, let's take a look at some upcoming weather that we have that we hope will be rain-filled, and it will be cooler for sure. That'll begin on Sunday, and I'm going to use the San Antonio region as our benchmark. Sunday the 25th, mostly sunny, 85 the high, 72 the low, 30% chance of moisture. A thunderstorm beginning overnight and into Monday the 26th. 77 and 52 are high and low, and a 40% chance. Tuesday the 27th, showers, 59 and 53 are high and low. 50% chance that day, 18 or 19 points. And Wednesday the 28th, showers, 65 the high, 54 the low, the 40% chance of showers yielding maybe 2 or 3 tenths. So, neighbor, we might, if we pray real hard, get a 1/4 of an inch out of that little colder, rainier, maybe not colder, for sure enough cooler and moister weather pattern. Now, neighbor, let's check commodities, remembering that this is just a snapshot of a price and time. You don't need to use this to make a trade because we have 14 affiliate stations and a live stream to deal with in a pretty short period of time, so we have to do these a little bit earlier. December corn, 417 and 3/4 up 1 1/4. January beans, 1069 even money down 3 1/4. December Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 10 at 570 and a half. December number 2 cotton down 54 at 71.43. December live cattle up 22 and a half at 103.70. January feeder cattle down 35 at 125.85, and your lean hogs are up 70 at 69.90. Your December U.S. dollar down 109 points at 92.82, while your December gold is down 240 at $1,902.30 by the ounce, and your December West Texas Intermediate crude down 9 at 40.55. Neighbor, there are your commodities as close to the time frame that you're hearing them as I can get them. Neighbor, I don't want to steal Tom Nicoletti's thunder for today's edition of the Texas News and Views program, but he's speaking with one of the most knowledgeable horticulturalists that I know. You'll recognize his voice. I love being around he and his wife when I get to do that. And he's going to be talking about things you need to do with your lawn equipment when you quit mowing your grass because the weather gets cooler and wetter. His name is Dr. John Begnaud, and he is from San Angelo. And Tom Nicoletti will air that interview on today's edition of the program after this.
Where is the Pioneer Audio Tour taking me today? Right outside this secure door. Let's go inside. This is the Germplasm Library on the Johnston, Iowa campus, Pioneer's largest R&D center. Well, it's less library and more vault. There are racks of corn and soybean seeds going back to 1926. Ugh, and it's cold in here. 10 degrees below to be exact. I can see my own breath. This is where it all begins. The depth and breadth of Pioneer germplasm, combined with the vast knowledge of Pioneer breeders who have worked with these genetic lines for years. Together, they create a pipeline of products for maximum yield potential and consistent performance. The Germplasm Library, one of the places that makes Pioneer Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
My guest today is horticulturist John Begnaud from San Angelo. Thanks, John, for being with us on the program as we talk about a number of things people should be thinking about or doing right now in the middle of autumn. Let's first discuss winterizing landscape equipment used in the yard.
Well, it's good to be here, Tom, and winterizing equipment is important because some of this stuff is very valuable, riding mowers and anything that has a motor. And things have changed over history. We used to drain all of the fluid out, the gasoline out, and let it set all winter so it didn't gum up and cause varnish in the carburetors and so forth. Well, now they've invented stabilizers that you can add to your fuel that keep all those valves and keep all of the washers, to keep everything just in good top shape. One of the products is called Stay-Bill, and you add it to your fuel and you pour it in there and you crank your engines and you run it for a little while, and this is a good way to keep them from being hard to start in the spring. And don't forget the simple things: sharpen the blades, get them all ready to go in spring so that you're not fighting the crowds when it's time to begin mowing and taking care of your gardens. Plus, everything looks good.
What about storage of fertilizers and other chemicals that folks utilize around their lawn?
You know, one of the things is that we like to purchase what we're going to use in one season. But if you have to, because you've purchased more than you need, chemicals should be stored away from areas that are going to be freezing, because they can be denatured or they can become weakened by freezing temperatures. And another little trick sideline: if you have a water well, don't put them in the well house, because if you do have issues with a leakage and it gets into your water, you have a bigger issue. So keep them away from water sources. Now, fertilizers should be sealed up in airtight bags or containers so that they don't get exposed to moisture, become hard, or nitrogen can be very volatile. So remember that. And by the way, as you get to the end of the season, you're going to see a lot of sales for things like rakes and shovels. And if you need that type of equipment, it's a great opportunity to come in there and buy that sort of stuff, even though you might not use it. You may go ahead and store it and use it for next spring if you need it. So go online, look at those shopping venues and your local markets, because this year with COVID, things were a little bit different. Inventories can be overbought or underbought, and you may get some great ideas for some good equipment that you might need.
Yes, those sales out there will attract people, and they can stock up on whatever equipment they'll need for the next season.
And that's a great idea, because we're coming up on pruning season. And if you don't have proper shears or good loppers or good saws, or finally your trees are big enough to need a pole saw, and now is a great time to buy it, well, why not add that to your inventory and your stock, because you're going to use it in the next few weeks.
That is San Angelo horticulturist John Begnaud.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com for an agent you can trust with life's most important decisions. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
This is Texas News and Views. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, I'm hearing cattle in the alleyway, and I bet you $1 to a donut. They're getting ready for the sale at Lexington, old Russell Heller and crew. Russell, stop down from your nose counting and your sorting and tell us what you anticipate.
Yes, sir. I know 2 sets of calves around 20, 25 a piece, and one man's going to have about 40.
That sounds good. I hope everybody's getting ready for some cooler temperatures and some moisture.
Yes, sir. It's supposed to be coming this afternoon, they're saying.
Well, good. I always look forward to some cooler temperatures about this time of the year, and you never turn down a rain, do you?
No, sir, you don't.
Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you for the auction there at Lexington on Saturday.
Yes, sir. You can get me on my cell, and that number is 979-820-7002.
I'm on the line with Stephen. He's in the outside sales department at D&D. Stephen, when I look out there, I see lots of deer blinds and feeders. Talk to us about them.
Larry, now is the time to get a blind or a feeder from us here. We carry All Seasons, Lamco, The Judge. We also carry Atascosa and T-Box deer blinds.
Tell everybody how to contact you at D&D.
You can reach us here at 830-379-7340, extension 260.
Neighbor Hop Singh says he's going to fill our plates with chicken fried steak if I let him eat today and sit down next to Madison Bexley. He's kind of, I think he likes her quite a bit. That's Madison Bexley from Lockhart Livestock. So, Maddie, if you can stand Hop Singh for just a little bit, tell us how the sale went in Lockhart on Thursday.
Good morning, Larry. We ended up having a pretty good day. We had 980 head of cattle with 199 cows and 16 bulls, 167 sellers, and 78 buyers.
Let's walk the pens.
On the stocker cows, we didn't have much to pick from in the way of pairs, but the market was real active on the bred cows. The better end from 8 to 10 1/4. The mediocre middle-aged and shortbreds from $3.50 to $7.75. On the packer end, the cows about steady, and the bulls a couple dollars lower this week. The good high yielding packer cows from 47 to 63. The medium yielding from 40 to 46. The low yielding from 20 to 39. The good high yielding packer bulls from 74 to 78. The low and medium yielding from 55 to 73. On the calves and yearlings, we actually got along pretty good with most of the good quality calves weighing 350 to 600, about steady on a good active market. And the 1.5 and number 2s, the calves and bull yearlings would have been a few dollars lower this week. So all in all, it was a pretty good week.
Good. Looks like a stretch of cooler, wetter weather next week. What do you know for the sale?
Yeah, we sure hope we get the wetter part. Man, we need it. We had some cattle supposed to come in this week that, because of the market, they decided to hold on. So we'll see what it does this week. Maybe we'll get those cattle in this week. I'm not sure quite yet.
Tell everybody how to contact you.
Yeah, you can always check us out on Facebook, or you can call the barn at 512-398-3476. My cell phone at 979-540-9793, or you can ring Bubba at 512-461-6091.
I'm on the line with Sam from D&D. Sam, what do you want to tell us about today?
Larry, right now we're having a sale, huge blowout sale of 2096 Stay Tough deer wire for only $359.
How long does the sale go on, Sam?
It's going to go on for the end of the month or while supplies last.
Tell everybody how to contact you at D&D.
You can contact one of our friendly staff members at 830-379-7340.
Neighbor, you know what? I forgot to send the cowboy crew up to Cameron today to get cattle bought. They're going to be late, but I bet there'll still be some up there because Kenny Mingus will sell all afternoon and into the evening if it needs to. That's Kenny Mingus, Milam County Livestock Auction, Cameron. Kenny, let my cowboys in and tell us what you think the sale's going to be like.
Well, we got pretty busy this afternoon, or this evening late, Larry, and all tagging on about 1,300 right now. And I had put out earlier, we'd have 1,500 to 1,800, but we could have a pinch more than that. We might tag up to 1,400 a night, something like that. And so if we do that, we could have, 17 to 2,000, probably around 300 cows, Larry.
Okay. And of the calves and yearlings, how are they looking?
Starting to get a little condition on some of these things.
Yeah.
They're starting to, the blooms kind of kicked off a few of them, and then some of them just fat as they can be. But a little bit of everything. Got a few bigger strings of cattle. One man got 80 and another one's got 40 or 50. So a few big strings in here. And but a lot of 5-10 head deals.
Good.
People coming in.
Good.
And so I think we'll have a good day. We'll do the best we can with the way the market is. So,
yes.
That's all we can do.
I understand. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
You bet. Just catch us at the office Monday through Wednesday from about 9 to 3 at 254-697-6697. You can follow us on our webpage at MilamCountyLivestockAuction.com or catch us on Facebook.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Kenny.
Thank you.
Let's see, neighbor, we were up on the Little River in Cameron, Texas just then. Let's head down to Harlingen and McAllen and speak with one of my compadres from Texas Farm Bureau Roundup, Jim Hearn. He's about to tell us what's going on in the valley in regards to agriculture. Jim?
Valley weather has gone back to hot and dry with daytime highs reaching into the low 90s. Ideal weather for onion planting and all field work. It's also been ideal to get the early orange harvest off to a roaring start. Because of Hurricane Hannah, 80-plus mile-per-hour winds, we lost a lot of grapefruit, while oranges seem to fare a lot better. They hang on the tree because I guess they're much smaller. Well, ranchers are busy getting that hay cutting in and welcoming a lot of new additions back to the herd. Cattle conditions remain good, and stock tanks, well, they could be a little better, but they're adequate for now. We are about a month away from the start of the sugarcane harvest. That crop right now looks really good. And the Port of Brownsville is getting a facelift and an upgrade when it comes to its agricultural exports. After a 13-year pause in grain operations, the federal government has awarded the port some $14.5 million. It will be used to upgrade and expand its grain storage and loading facilities. That'll be welcome news for the Port of Brownsville. For Farm Bureau Roundup, this is Jim Hearn in the Rio Grande Valley.
I'm a cotton farmer.
I'm BASF.
I'm made of grit, passion, and hands that never stop working. I'm made of agronomics, innovation, and hands that never stop helping.
I believe cotton isn't a crop. It's a calling. I'm made to grow it.
Protect it.
I know this is important to my family.
Every family.
That's why I work harder.
Innovate better.
To make my cotton as good as it can be.
As protected as it can be.
I'm a cotton farmer.
I'm BASF.
We create chemistry.
You know, neighbor, as we headed down to the Rio Grande Valley, Harvey Beering from there around that Corpus Christi area waved at me when we went by. I told him we'd sickle back and talk to him. Harvey, talk to us about what the things are happening agricultural-wise in your country right now.
October has been relatively dry here in the Coastal Bend area, and that has many locations running 4 to 5 inches below normal for the rainfall for this year. And after 16 consecutive days without rainfall, during October, a cold front here during the middle of the month did produce some widely scattered thunder showers that were very welcome, but that rainfall event was highly variable, with some locations only getting a few tenths, while others were lucky enough to get up to 2.5 to 2 3/4 inch of rain. Now, hay producers certainly enjoyed that ideal harvest condition that was provided to them during the first 2 weeks of October, and they pulled up a lot of hay in the area. The demand for grass hay is expected to be pretty strong this winter, as many of the pastures are declining in their productivity quite early without October rains. Now, the USDA Cotton Classing Office over in Corpus Christi has continued to be very busy during October. Been classifying around 130,000 bale samples every week, and somewhere around October the 10th, they surpassed the 1 million bale mark for the season for those gins here in South and in the East Texas cotton production region. They continue to receive bale samples from 42 of their 49 gins in their trade area. Hay producers are certainly reminded of the soil testing campaign that's underway, and you're encouraged to contact the AgriLife Extension offices in your area for sample bags and program details. Beef cattle producers are also reminded of the weekly cattle webinar series that'll be taking place beginning October 26th. It'll run through November 16th. And your local AgriLife Extension office can direct you to the online registration link for that program. Reporting from the Coastal Bend area for Farm Bureau Roundup, this has been Harvey Beering.
Rumensin presents Trusted by Generations. Headquartered in Amarillo, Texas, Cactus Feeders has been producing high-quality protein at their feed yards in Texas and Kansas for over 40 years. They work hard each day to make sure the beef they produce is safe and nutritious. Director of Nutrition Kendall Carr and General Manager of Wrangler Feed Yard Randy Shields have been working together at Cactus Feeders for 20 years. We asked them what they view as the most vital ingredient in their success. For Kendall, trust comes before anything else, and that includes doing business with a handshake. Beyond trust in their partners, Kendall knows it's important for consumers to trust the beef they consume. Randy believes it all comes back to the handshake deal, that when you make a commitment, you follow through with that commitment. Both Kendall and Randy are proud to carry on the legacy of helping people learn and grow in the beef cattle business. Rumensin has been trusted by generations of cattle producers to help build their legacy. What will your legacy be? Explore more legacy stories at trustedbygenerations.com.
Neighbor, let's talk cotton for just a little bit. Friday afternoon this afternoon, the CFTC, the Commitment of Traders report, will come out detailing the trading structure of the market. In the last data, the regulator showed certain money-managed speculators net long by about 60,000 contracts of cotton. That amount represents an equivalent of about 6 million bales. Obviously, speculators cannot be that heavy long without taking the market to an overbought situation. Now, last night, the last presidential debate occurred. President Trump, the only candidate mentioning and praising the U.S. farmer. That notion has to be worth something, neighbor. The administration and the House Speaker are trying to work out a new stimulus deal, but remain far apart on several key issues. The most glaring is the Democrats want money to spend on things not directly related to COVID. Cumulus sales for the current marketing year have reached 63% of USDA's original target. The 5-year average was 53%. Numerically, sales currently stand at 8.46 million bales versus 9.10 the same time last year. Weather-wise, the 6 to 10-day forecast calls for above normal rainfall for the U.S., the Delta, and the Southeast. Now, Monday, USDA will update the aspects of the cotton market report. And the U.S. harvest continues. It'll be updated Monday afternoon. Currently, the 1 to 5 day outlook shows moderate rainfall across the U.S. Delta. That means that as of last Monday, our U.S. crop harvest was 34% complete. I'd be willing to bet by Monday we're at about 54% complete. Now for today, support for December cotton stands at 71.25 and 70. Resistance at 72.20 and 73. And Keith Brown from Commodity Consultants and DTN says our overnight volume was about 6,191 contracts. As we look at the grains, we'll say thank you to John Tuggle at 800-288-453 for his help. He says that China has been a predominant buyer, 81.8 million bushels of beans, and they're the only buyer for 11 million bushels of milo. But yet local milo trading is quiet from the ports of Corpus Christi. Taking a look at milo, delivered to Corpus, October delivery, D's plus $2, $11. We'll call Progresso $8.50. Number 2 or better yellow corn through Corpus in October, D's plus 40, $4.56 and a quarter. We'll call Houston D's plus 30, $4.46 and a quarter, and we'll call Progresso $8.65. Number 1 hard red winter wheat through Corpus in October, D's plus 75, $6.35 and a quarter. We'll call Houston D's plus $1 bill, $6.60 and a quarter. And we'll call number 1 beans through Houston October, November delivery, November less 15, $10.58 and 3/4. We'll call Placido November less 60, $10.13 and 3/4. Neighbor, 1 year ago today, milo delivered to Corpus Christi was 35 over D's, $7.55. 2 years ago today, it was also 35 over the December contract at $7.22. And where is it today? At $11. D's plus $2. Taking a look at cotton, my Texas farming and ranching neighbors. Looks like we moved 453 bale of East Texas, 4,357 bale of West Texas. Average price $67.56 on 4,800 bales. Neighbor, that's it for Down on the Farm during the noon hour. I'm Larry Marble. Go out and make it a grand weekend.